So let's dig in this specific order here on birthright citizenship. So, I mean, until now, that was understood as a right under the 14th Amendment. If you were born here in the U.S., no matter the status of your parents, you're an American citizen. I know this one is one that could be legally scrutinized. Walk us through this.
Yes, and it's something that I never imagined was an issue because this came up during Trump's first term. We heard sounds of this back then. And when I first heard it, I thought, that's ridiculous. Is there anything more fundamental than the idea that if you're on U.S. soil and you give birth, that child is a U.S. citizen? I started looking into the academia around it, and it's an interesting argument. You look at the language, and by the way, it's not just the Constitution. Federal law also enshrines the same language. Someone born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And that's the magic phrase that people on the right seize upon to say that there is no such thing as birthright citizenship, because they argue that that means that someone who has a child here must also be subject to the jurisdiction. And that means a citizen of the United States or a lawful permanent resident, not somebody who is subject to or a citizen of another country. That's the argument. It's never been specifically tested, although the Supreme Court has come close in a number of cases, most of which go back 100 or more years.
So, I mean, you don't have to have a law degree to know that an executive order doesn't trump what's in the Constitution. So explain to us legally what's going to happen here, what process this is. Could judges just look at this and be like, no, the Constitution says this. This is not going to happen?
I'm glad you asked that question, because executive orders really don't take the position like a statute. They don't always say thou shalt not. Instead, they're often enabling. They often interpret federal law. And really what this executive order is doing is saying the federal government no longer recognizes this kind of citizenship. So we will no longer issue papers, passports, things that people need. This, not only will this be challenged, it's already been challenged. I'm reading the complaint that was filed last night. So this will be litigated immediately, and we're going to get an answer. If nothing else, we're going to get a constitutional answer to this question that's been kicking around now for about a decade.
And tell us just kind of your preview, your thoughts on how this would stand up in a legal challenge.
If I were a betting person, and I'm not, I would say the weight of authority leans toward birthright citizenship, maybe for no other reason than it's the way it's been interpreted for centuries now, and for that reason alone, that reliance interest that everybody has had on that kind of right, whether it exists or not, is a strong factor in deciding whether or not it exists, because it's existed for 100 or so years now. But it's possible that a court, the Supreme Court, with a number of conservative justices, may conclude that that subject to the jurisdiction thereof means that someone born on U.S. soil must additionally be born to somebody who is lawfully here. Not necessarily a citizen, lawful permanent resident, but not somebody who is here illegally, in the same way that children of ambassadors do not get birthright citizenship. That would be the argument.
Does it feel like this is part of the goal right here, is that conservatives would like to see what the Supreme Court has to say about this issue?
Absolutely. I think this is something that conservatives think they have a pretty strong argument for. Even the Supreme Court case that they say enshrined birthright citizenship, because it's not only the Constitution, a federal law, and a Supreme Court decision. They say that dealt with the child of lawful permanent residence, so they say it's not even precedential. So this is going to be a really fascinating argument before the Supreme Court, and a lot of folks might be surprised. This might be a right that may have never been a right in the first place.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.